And we're in.
And we're in, dude.
Hi.
How you doing?
All right.
We have someone with us today.
We do a guest. Another guest.
I don't want to look at me in the eye yet because I will start talking.
No, episode 77.
5? 4? No, it's something.
Yeah,
like that.
anyway, we're there. We are. Welcome back, everybody. And welcome to Matt, our special guest this week.
How you doing, Matt?
Not too bad.
Thanks for coming in.
No, you're welcome.
Thanks for coming in. Podcast as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fellow podcast presenter.
I know. I actually heard some of your stuff.
At the beginning.
Yesterday, I think it was. I can't remember whenever I text you.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, because I listened to it the day
what
before when I was walking the dog.
Yeah. So we're all caught up. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm Matt Boulding, local lad, Coventry, 42, five children.
5 kids?
Holy
wow.
I'm a merger though, so they're not all mine.
Okay, that's all good.
So two are mine, one from the first wife, one from the second wife. You're getting trendier.
Wow, dude.
Collect wives and children.
Likes wedding cake.
And then, no, I don't. And then the third wife, she had 3 children. We merged nearly 5 years ago. So, and it's working well. First 2 marriages I wasn't very good at.
No.
Just practice runs.
Yeah, first
first
one was 6 months, second one was 8 months. So
Wow.
So I'm happy I'm over a year.
Good work, well
The
done.
thing is, well, as long as you're happy, mate, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and
That's all that matters.
all a learning curve, really, ain't it?
Yeah, it's about that state. Yeah. It's fucking vertical, not a curve, isn't it? I know. Yeah. No, mate, well, I'm glad you're on. We have mutual friends within our circles, and it was Woody that reached out to us and said, I know somebody might want to speak to you and get involved. And I messaged you and you answered within the hour. I was like, yeah, we're in.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, responses.
I've always said I'm a bit of an open book, so I'm always happy to talk. Like,
There you are.
We need
music
that.
to your ears. You like open books, don't you?
So one thing you need to know about me is that I ask questions. I'm that guy, and I'll ask a lot of questions. So if there's anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, just tell me to shut the fuck up. I'll probably still ask it anyway. But yeah, just honestly, I am that guy.
Yeah, he is that guy.
I don't know how
I'm gonna
people
get
do
that
that.
T-shirt. I am that guy.
I am that guy. Yeah, the Vish effect. So yeah, we had a little listen to your podcast. I'd really like to know a bit more about you. I know from listening, so does Dan. But for our listeners, I mean, give us a bit of an insight as to who you are and why you're doing your podcast.
so I'm 20 years in the military now, and I'm coming to the end, and I'm looking for what's next.
Yeah.
And in the military, I teach mental health advocate course, teaching people how to have them awkward conversations in the workplace. If someone's down, like, how do you explain it? So basically, if someone's suicidal or want to hurt themselves, the right conversations to have with that person to get that information out so you can signpost them
Right.
to the right place. So I'm finding in Civvy Street, there's not much of that. There's all the once you're broke, there's loads of charities, loads of the NHS and places where you can get counselling, but there's not that before we all break.
Yeah.
And over the last 22 years or more, I've had lots of ups and downs with my mental health, and I just don't want people to go through that.
Right.
In the way I describe it to others is that I call the different pressures of life bears, and then you can basically visualize them and add to that, and then you can deal with each bear individually, and that's the framework behind mental bears, really.
Got it.
We both say we like that imagery, don't we? Because we like you said, we when you sent me the link to the podcast, I was like, right, here's your research for the week, bitch. Let's listen to this so we know what we're talking about. And let's come away from it and kind of like, Joy's right, because there's so many different ways of describing pressure, stresses, and to be able to label them and just do something with them, you think, right. And then, like you say, you can size them as from cub through to full-grown grizzly.
And that's the plan. It's more. It's not a. I'm not there to fix people. It's more a language from a kid to a 70-year-old can talk about it without over explaining it.
Yeah.
Just be like, I've got this big grizzly bear that It's a bit like the story, The Black Dog.
Yeah.
A caveat, Black Dog. And it's very similar to that. And I think I used it once explaining it to my kids because they're like, "You're always happy, but why are you sad?" And I said, "Because I carry this bear." And
Stuck and went from
yeah,
there.
and that's it.
Yeah. So we understand the concept of the bear, the grizzly bear, and how that's helped you. Can you just give our listeners a bit of an insight as how you visualize that?
So I seem to collect bears. I've got so many bears. So I had a massive trauma when I was 17. I don't know how much detail you want. It's up to you. It's quite...
Well, we have like about an hour.
So you're not being billed for it.
And there's
so
still
you're
question time in between.
Yeah, so basically, when I was 17, I was sexually assaulted by 2 men, which was really traumatic for me at that age. And at the time, that was 2000. At the time, there was not the networks we have now. So I was basically told to man up, which to a 17-year-old child...
It's our favourite phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, I was told to man up or deal with it, basically. And I didn't. I didn't know how to deal with it because I was basically still a child. I turned to drink, and that led to more addictions, gambling, sex, anything I could. Because of the abuse the guys gave me, I thought, oh, do you know what? I need to prove that I'm not gay or anything and have sex as much as I can. And that's where all the addictions and the spiral down into my mind and not understanding things went, basically.
Right. So you turned to alcohol.
Yeah.
Was that like the first sign of you going into a bad place?
Well, I had nightmares. I'm lucky in a way that the only way I remember the incident is in my dreams. So I found if I got drunk, I blacked out and I didn't have the dreams. So medication didn't work because I overslept at work and that. So the drink worked in an aspect in my head. It worked.
So like an escape,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just escape from the dreams.
Yeah.
They're the most scariest parts because you go through the whole event over and over again.
Sure. I kind of relate to that because I went through not a messy divorce, but a real difficult time of my marriage, even in the marriage. And sometimes turning to drink was the easiest option because then you don't have to think if you're knocked out, right?
Yeah.
And you don't dream. I completely get that. But it's when you're in that position, obviously you're trying to look for ways out of a situation as well. But even though you have that temporary moment of being drunk or whatever, or just being knocked out, you still have to deal with it the next day, and it feels 10 times worse because you're hungover.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just a vicious roller coaster.
It is.
Or a hamster wheel. You're just going around the same.
Yeah, because it perpetuates
motion.
from that, and it worsens.
And yeah, until I finally one day, I was watching TV with a bunch of friends, and there was a scene very similar to mine on Hollyoaks, and I burst into tears, and I was like, no, enough is enough now. That's just triggered me.
Yeah.
I ain't having this control my life, and I turned a lot around. The military got me help. I did lie because I wanted to go to war, and I said I was okay, and now 25 years later, it's bit me on the arse because I just I shut that door, locked the key, and hid it away until a lot happened recently that just the door burst open.
The door open. Yeah. Was the wanting to go to war kind of thing, was that just another way of venting and sort of taking out all the frustration?
I think I thought war would fix me because at the time Afghan and Iraq were both dry tours, no drinks, so that would have been okay. But I got sent to the Falklands, which was literally the party capital of the military.
Right, okay.
Like,
I suppose there's nothing else there to do, is it?
No,
it's a bleak place, is it?
When I was there in time it hit the papers for being the Wild West of
The drunken
drink-
debauchery
yeah.
of the
military strip clubs and things like that. Great time, but
not for the
not
right
for
reasons.
helping me.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I had lots of great stories. Could probably write a book one day.
Yeah, but it just didn't fix upstairs.
No.
No. Okay.
So these, excuse me, Dale, these bears, I want to circle back to them because you, in your podcast, you mentioned how you use them to metaphorically describe pressures
Yeah.
and carrying weight. And going through what you went through, obviously you didn't have this metaphorical description of the problem back then, right? When did you start to realize that you're feeling all these pressures of pretty much everything around you, that the drink is your solution and maybe now it's time to stop?
I think I had a couple of incidents where I was literally on the road to go to jail, like drunken on an airfield, diverting planes. I know, great stories.
That's okay.
And to be fair, it was the biggest plane in the world at the time, so even better for the storytelling. And I woke up from that, and I couldn't remember anything. And then the next time I robbed keys off a security guard when I was living in Canada, and because I ran out of alcohol, I thought I'd break into Great Western Brewery in Canada to get some free beer. So literally 3 days in Canada, and I've robbed this guy's
Straight into a brewery.
yeah. Think I'm James Bond climbing over fences to get free alcohol, and I woke up from that, and both times my employers was like, you need to stop or you're gone. And I just thought, how do I fix this? So then I started working on my body, working on my mind, and trying to fix it. That door was still closed, but I just got in the bad habit of drinking every day because that was the norm.
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes routine, the same as
Yeah.
everything else, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So you were in the military at that point when you were breaking into breweries in...
No, I came out. So, yeah, I left the Air Force because I was Air Force first off for 5 years. I left the Air Force. There was no jobs at the time because it was when the recession was hit. So I went over truck driving in Canada.
Okay.
And great job, great experience, but no good for a guy with a drink problem. So
Yeah.
they were really strict, and basically the 3 years over there I didn't drink because they threatened me sending me back to the UK, and at the time I didn't want to be in the UK because there was nothing for me. So
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This is like, I love how you turn to me because you know I'm
I know. I can feel it. I can feel it at the side of me.
You just know. You just know. So it's interesting because I'm honing in on the fact that you had this alcohol problem. I know you obviously are in the military, but there was obviously a reason for you to start drinking, and you're having these bad thoughts. I'm curious to know what it was that set that off. What was it? Because was it the military? Was it actually anything that happened at home? I know you said you had an issue when you were 17. Was it still the same problem?
Yeah. So it's basically the reenactment of that traumatic experience each night. Just turn to the bottle. It was easier to drink Jack Daniels than go to someone and say I need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd come off the wagon and think I could fix it. But I picked up another addiction, like going to the gym for 5 hours a day. Yeah. You can just replace it. There was always a habit to try and, like with the gym, it was to knacker me out. So I was so exhausted by the end of the day that I'd just pass out.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing with the addictive side, isn't it? Like you say, you stop one, but you have to then find something else to
replace it.
Replace it and fill the void. And then you finish that, and it's right. Shit, I need to do something else. And you just constantly chase it because you're not fixing the root cause of the problem.
Yeah, and I tried, like, why not drinking? Like I said, I ended up with a sex addiction, which paid its way because I ended up getting a job in an escort. Okay. And so I was getting paid every night to do something to knacker me out. So basically, I was one of their best escorts because I was literally taking any client, so I could just go from one
To
to the
fulfill
next.
your needs as well, yeah.
And then I realised that I wasn't doing my job properly because I was more bothered about the next client and having my
Then
end
looking
away.
after the one that you were with, yeah. Yeah, okay.
That must be really difficult. That must be super, super difficult.
I'm glad you didn't say that must have been really hard.
I was.
that-
It was. It was on the tip of my tongue, but I changed it right at the last minute.
But at the time, it was normal.
I bet it was.
So it was normal. It was the next buzz. So I went from alcohol to sex to gambling to fitness and then back round because there was no opening that door. There always had to be something I was focused on.
So there was no overlap of addiction. Like you weren't addicted to sex whilst you were addicted to gambling
I don't know because
and alcohol.
when I was an alcoholic, I probably
Couldn't remember what.
lost 4 years of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up naked in many places. It's not something.
But was all those three things involved in that 4 year period? Do you think?
Probably, yeah. Overlapping.
Yeah.
It probably lasted a bit longer where I tried to stop drinking and went back and forth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So you're in the Air Force, you left, and then you rejoined the army. Is that?
Yeah, so I had 7 years out in the military. I travelled a bit, lived in the Falklands, lived in Canada. Couldn't find anything that had that military background, the banter, just the routine.
Yeah.
And then I came back after the Canadians had the recession. So they sent me back, and family members said there was jobs for security in the UK in the British Army. So there was no deployment. And I was like, that'll work. So 4 on 4 off. A little bit less pay than regular army, but you're still in the army.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've done that for the last 16 years.
It's good. I know at the start you said that you the mental health advocate in the military, which is a similar role as the mental health first aiders that we have on Civvy Street. And we spoke about this last week.
Yep.
A long time ago.
Yes.
But yeah, and we mentioned it down earlier, didn't we? It's just a sort of tick box exercise to an extent.
Yeah, so I think I'm on so in the last 16 years, I think I'm on my 7th mental health course with a change of a name from Mental Health England's first mental health first aider. Done that one twice, I think, because it only lasts 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I think it was last year or the year before that they brought out the mental health advocate instructors course. So I can teach a workshop, conversation skills, and a mental health presentation to try and help serving members deal with that. Like.
Now, from my experience in the police, and we spoke about it last week, like I said, but do you find that people come looking for you? Or do you have to sort of approach them to say, I've noticed something, is there something you want to talk about?
To be fair, no one's ever looked. The problems the reason I got into it, being in the guard room, you were always the first point of contact. You were always the first person out to a situation.
Yeah.
And sadly, in them 16 years, I've had too many situations I've had to go to, talk to people, and it's hard. Like seeing young people that want to take their own life because at the moment their whole pressure is, it could be something simple like their boyfriend or girlfriend's just split up with them, but in that moment that's it. That's the breaking point.
Yeah.
There could be 100 things other, but that's the breaking point. And when they say it out loud to a 20-year veteran who's done time and then transferred into security, it sounds silly.
Yeah.
But you've got to have that compassion to say, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But to some of them, it's just like...
Yeah, it might seem really simple to you, but when it's affecting somebody to that...
And it's them little things I try and have the compassion for, that even in the messages off people while setting all the podcasts, they're like, my story ain't as good as someone else's. But
it's your story.
It's your bear.
Yeah.
It's your life, and it may be something simple as I'm a single parent with 2 or 3 kids, and that gets a bit much, and I've got no one to talk to. That's a good enough story.
Yeah, we've said it before. You talk about mental health, and people automatically think you've got to have a diagnosis or there's got to be a condition. But your everyday stress, you're managing your finances, have I got enough fuel to put in the car, have I got food in the cupboard for the kids, that affects your mental health because it's the stress. And if you don't deal with it, it just builds and builds and builds. And I know we've had lads on the podcast and other lads in the group have listened to it and go, I really want to come on, but my story's not like that. And you're like, but it's yours. That's what's got you to where you are today.
Yeah.
Come and tell it. Because there are other people going through exactly that want to hear it.
And that's it. The phrase came out. I can't remember when it's okay not to be okay, or it's good to talk. But we listen to it, but we don't actually follow through. And that's what I'm after, is the making it a language that you're okay to talk about it with your buddy.
Yeah.
Or a stranger on the bus. You'll be like, yeah, you carrying any bears? And then they'll go, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
My dog's just died and I feel emotional about it, but my wife thinks I'm silly. And it's just them conversations that might be little to one person, but massive on yourself.
Yeah. And I think what I got from the use of the terminology around the bears and things is it makes that initial conversation interesting, because you mention, I'm carrying bears. What the fuck do you mean you're carrying bears? And then you automatically into the conversation before you realise, and you explain what it's about. Oh, right, yeah, well, actually, and then the conversation continues from there.
Yeah, it goes from probably the only good thing out of social media. Everything you research now is you need a hook.
Yeah.
And goes to the old-fashioned, if you're shy, you need a conversation starter, an icebreaker, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just a simple question, and so many companies use it.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get someone engaged into the conversation about what the bears are. I mean, I found it quite interesting, and I've never ever heard it put in that kind of terminology before, and that works. It works, and it clearly works for you.
Yeah, it came about by accident. So I was a mud runner. That's how I know Woody.
I like this story.
Yeah. and I got injured. Gave myself a hernia because I was lifting too much. But I'd already signed up for 20 races around Europe. It cost me a good 10 grand. Had money after my second divorce.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. and I was dating my current wife, and she was like, just go and do it. I was like, but I can't run. And then I was like, okay, let's find another plan. So I was like, I really like these charities. I'll do it for charity. And then I was like, who's going to donate to someone swanning around Europe, just walking these or jogging lightly these obstacle races? I was like, so I need a challenge.
Yeah.
And I was like, went on Google, and I was like, what's my favourite animals, bears or penguin? And I was like, penguin's going to be too hard to try and climb waddle. And I was like, bear then. And I like bears. And yeah, and then because of it, people called me Mental Bear, and then that came a gamer tag on. I just used it for everything else. And one day I was talking on a run, and they're like, "Ain't that a lot of weight you're carrying?" And I thought they were talking about my mental health, and it opened a conversation, and that must have been where the seed got planted.
Yeah.
That I'm carrying this big, heavy ass bear suit that you put wood and water and
get covered in mud and water.
It weighs a ton.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, in Austria, and the language barrier wasn't great, so I was trying to explain that no, my mental health's fine, and he's like, no, you can't. And then it worked, and it just stuck in my head, and that's where I think it came from.
When I was walking the dog, listening to the podcast, and you're talking about wearing this bear suit, you can picture something, and I'm like, Yeah, that's fucking messy. That is.
Do you still have the bear suit?
No, my wife hated it, and she made me burn it as like a symbolic.
Oh man.
End of that chapter,
Yeah.
kind of.
So there's pictures of me burning the bear head, and but it took up a good 2-3 years of my life.
Yeah.
I did ultras in it, and I think I ran 50 miles in it. Just like all for charity.
You know, the only reason I ask is because Dan has a forfeit that he still hasn't done. And that would have been an absolutely great
Fuck off
forfeit.
if I put a bear costume.
Because he's a
I
marathon
could sit in here in a bear costume and sweat my tits off.
No, it's hard work.
Yeah, no, I did register to do the Cobb half in a couple of weeks' time, but my knees are shot from years of mistreating them on the rugby pitch, so I've wormed out of it. Somebody else is doing it for me. And you mentioned Woody and the mud run thing. There's another story that Woody asked me to mention about was throwing what you thought was a tent, and it was a dinghy. Is that right?
Yeah, so we went away for a mud run weekend, 3 races over the weekend, and it had like a little mini festival.
Yeah.
I think it was called Mud of Anarchy. Not the greatest bands. I think it was Goldie Looking Chain. It was good night.
I'm Welsh, easy. They're cult heroes of mine.
Yeah, it was all right. But so I didn't have a tent, and my mother-in-law was like, I've got a tent, it's in the shed. And in this tent bag, I just thought,
It looks like a tent.
It's going to be a tent. And so I just grabbed it, rushing, went, and then got there. We're all setting up, and I pulled out this inflatable little pool, which everyone loved. And then I had to ask nicely to stay in someone's tent.
Can I bunk up with you in your tent?
Yeah, and it was like, and I've never lifted it down. It pops up every now and again.
Yeah. He messaged me separately from the main chat group. He's like, ask him about the trip and the tent that was never a tent.
No, I'm just that guy that, like, some people think that I make it up, but I've just got a story for stories. And it's just, I just attract stories. Like I said, I'd probably write a book one day.
I had a vision of you. There's like pop-up tents that you throw out and just throw it in and poof, oh, hang on.
Yeah, it was basically like that. I pulled it out and just a paddling pool.
Could have been worse.
At least you can wash off after the mud bath.
Yeah,
it's true.
Straight in. I want to talk recovery. How you discovered what you're going through, and what was your process of recovery to actually get to how you are now?
I'm still not fixed. So I relapse, but I find a strong network. I have this rule of 3. It comes up in everything. Power of 3. If unsure, ask 3 people. I don't know where it came from. It's just one of them. So I try and focus on 3 things every day: my body, my mind, and reflection of what I got done today, what I need to do. I'm a big fan of whiteboards. In the last year, I seem to buy them and put them everywhere. Like in my office, in my room, I've got probably 4 or 5.
They're useful.
I'm only allowed 1 at home.
I don't know how you're only allowed 1 at home.
The boss said 1.
Yeah. So, but she's amazing with it. She's probably, like, I call her, so with my rule of 3, I call her my anchor. Yeah. And she's the one I take the most advice from. Yeah. The one I can be most truthful. And when I relapsed just after Christmas, it was so bad that I didn't even want to tell my wife, because I was having nightmares again. And we live separate in the week, so I live on base in Chester. So Monday to Friday, I'd be like really bad, and then come home, and I'd try and stay up later, so she don't catch me out. Yeah. And then or she'll say, "Oh, do you want a game?" And I'll like, "Yeah, I'll game all night." So then she just wasn't hearing me cry in my sleep. But then once she heard it, she was like, "What's going on?" And then I was honest. I said, I don't think I'm okay anymore. And she was like, "Okay, that's fine. We'll do it." Yeah. And then I tried to go to the doctors, And I was like, really played it down. And they give you a questionnaire of how you're feeling and that. So I filled in the questionnaire, and I kind of asked the doctor every time there was a question. I knew the answer, but I didn't want to answer it. Like, so if I have one nightmare every now and again, is that a 2, 3, or 4, or 5? And he was like, well, what do you think? And then lucky, the doctor, after I filled in the question, probably lying. Well, I was lying. He was like, I want you back next week. So then me, as an overthinker, went like, well, actually, I need to be honest. And I spoke to my wife, and she like, you need to be honest.
Yeah.
You be honest, because you can't go through life waking up crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I went back, and thankfully the military gave me 2 weeks off, I think I've got at the moment, to get an assessment with the mental health unit, and then I'll go from there.
Yeah.
And lucky, I'm in a position where the military really does support once it's kind of broken. They're quite good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother-in-law was in the Fusiliers, and he's told me the same, that, yeah, it's fucking difficult, but if you end up broken, they're very keen to put the wheel back on and try and fix it, because they almost sort of accept that we've probably done this. We need to get things fixed so they can go back. Even if it's into Civvy Street, you're in a place where you can function without the nightmares and without everything else. So I get that. You mentioned there about having this sort of support with the wife at home. Was that something that, without prying too much, but that was never there before?
No, I'm a believer. Like, so the first 2 marriages, I just argued. It was not very. Got married for the wrong reasons, and we just argued all the time, who's better. And I came away after the second marriage, like, I'm not doing this anymore, and gave up arguing with basically anybody. And when I got with Siobhan, I was like, I don't argue. I'm who I am. I don't argue. If we have a problem, we talk about it, because it's not a competition who can shout the loudest. And I think she misses the arguments now and again. Right? She says she loves a good argument, but yeah, in the 10 years we've been together, I think we had one little fake argument. And that was triggered by, there was an incident on camp, and I didn't want to talk about it. There was a case of a sexual assault, and it triggered me.
Yeah.
And I came home from it carrying it, and that was one of our rules. We have a quick chat about work, and it's done.
Yeah.
So we don't both talk about work all night. And she noticed I was off, and I said something silly, and we argued, and then I said, "Oh, you don't know me," and there's been like the phrase ever since. It's like, anytime we haven't.
I think you do.
Yeah, and but she was like, "Why do you need to hide it?
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of it. I'm here for you." And then I think from them moments on, the trust obviously built.
Yeah.
And she just became my anchor, and it's so good to have somebody, like, having a rule of 3, but to have that one person that you know will always be there.
Yeah.
And
Central to it all.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I know if it gets too bad, I can talk to.
Yeah.
And she'll probably use banter, but...
Yeah, but with the military, that's what you come to, that's what you're used to. And I know we do it all the time in the police, you know. And like we said before, it's probably, to an outside person listening to it, they're like, fuck me, are you all right? What? You can't say that to people, but that's the banter that gets you through, because there are times where you're like, fuck this world, this is too much. But if you didn't have that little bit of light-hearted humour between friends, rather than about the actual incident itself, you wouldn't get through it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll use, to cover up, I use humour on everything.
Yeah.
From awkward situations, and if I get a bit like awkward in a situation, my first thing is to make a joke about it,
I got growled at yesterday for doing that.
Did
I
you?
was having a conversation with a barrister, and I was way out of my depth. You know, the barrister's, oh, yeah, I was on this, and I'm thinking, and I just made a stupid, shitty little joke, and I just got the look. I'm like, I'm just going to shut the fuck up now.
Out your depth.
Yeah, it's my go-to.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. If I feel nervous, if I'm stressed, or I'm panicking about something, I'll try and find something to sort of lighten or take a little bit of distraction away from stuff. I'm just, didn't work yesterday. Okay. Posh growl.
Oh, is that what it
It's
was?
a posh growl. Yeah.
I've never heard of one of those before. But
It was posh.
is it?
Yeah. Imagine
Oh,
Paddington with a little finger.
What an analogy. So, okay, so obviously you're still going through the process of recovery. Now, any advice that you could give to anyone who's going through something similar to what you went through?
like I said, I always ask 3 people. Like when I think something's silly, I'll just ask 3 friends, normally the wife and 2 others. And if the answer comes back that it's not silly, I then work from there, make a plan and follow that really. And it's okay to go and ask for help. Like that, I'm pretty much, if I'm not unsure, I'll go and ask help, because it might just be in my head, but they're the people who know what to do.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky the medical service in the military is really good. It's pretty quick. Like I say to my wife that, oh God, I've got to wait 3 days for an appointment. And she's like, try 3 weeks.
If you can get it through on the phone in the first place. Yeah. I think that's what we're trying to get to, isn't it? Is you feel almost stupid asking the question. You think this is a really stupid thing to be asking. But we've said it, I forget who said it now, but we've been around for that many thousands of years. That question's already been asked by somebody else at some point. It's not like you're inventing a brand new question. That's your mindset, isn't it? Like, oh, nobody else has asked this before. Well, I think they might have
never
done.
know.
Just chuck it out there and see what happens. But until we get to that point where everybody's just think, do you know what? It's okay to ask those questions. It's okay not to be okay. And that's what we're working towards, and that's what we're
And the other thing is as well, we always kind of think that we don't have people around us that care enough. Most people are afraid to ask if we're okay because they've seen us go through some shit journey or a real bad experience and think maybe if I ask them, it's going to set them off.
Yeah.
So, but we have this automatic thing where we blame everyone else as well, where it's like, no one fucking even asked me. But what kind of attitude or like energy am I giving out for them to not ask me?
Yeah.
You know, you kind of have to think about, am I giving out the right impression for them to stay away?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
there was a comment on Facebook to one of our posts today as well. Some one of our followers had put on there that to one of the questions. It was he said his mindset was that people will get bored listening to him, so he just says, "Yes, I'm okay now," because he doesn't want to bore anybody. And that's the other thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we said about passing the burden on to people else. You don't want to lay something on somebody else that's already going through something, maybe. But it's not that. You have to value yourself enough to have that conversation and go, do you know what? I'm feeling a bit shit. Have 5 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of people say I'm such an open book because I'll just tell the world my problems. But I found that took a lot of the pressure off from life, just to be open and honest about it. Like, but I've met others that go to me, oh, well, your problems are bigger than mine. And like, but it's okay to talk about.
Yeah.
My problems I might be able to carry now, but your problems might sound little to you, but you're not carrying them as well. And that's the mentality I'm trying to get after with all this when I leave, is that you literally, it's not a cock-swinging game of whose problems is better.
Yeah.
It's just talking about them problems, big or small, and for the right people to go, I'm listening.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not, and a lot of people say, yeah, I'm happy to listen, but it's having that network around you to know who, and I'm not saying at 3:00 in the morning when you've had a drink, you phone someone and someone's going to answer, because I know I've had it where people phone me, but as soon as I've woke up in the morning, I phoned them straight back. Everything okay? Oh yeah, I was just drunk. But you know,
Yeah. We've said you almost have this like different sets of friends now. You can tell some friends some things you wouldn't want them to know other bits, but then you've got another group that you feel more comfortable talking to. I think that's important.
It is. But also, we spoke about this a few weeks ago, where I think it was Ewan that mentioned, you can say to somebody that how you're feeling, and they're like, oh, if you need to talk, give me a shout.
Yeah.
You kind of don't want to do that. You want to be able to just say, get them to ask you questions there and then, not just simply just say, just call me if you need to talk.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like putting the onus back on you. You think, I've just told you I need to talk.
Yeah, it's taken me that much to get that out.
Yeah,
Leaving talking any more about it.
But I think sometimes being a bit more forward and also the way you actually take on issues as well. I mean, I've learned a lot over the past few years and more in the last month or two than ever before about how to handle situations. And it's how you ultimately digest it. How come across anything that's quite bad or a difficult situation, how do you take that pressure on? Do you take the pressure on? Do you think, is this in my control? Can I handle it? And how to handle it as well. I mean, I know most problems we create 10 times worse than our head than they actually are, right?
Yeah.
And they do say, what's that saying? It's 75% more chance of something going right than it is wrong. So you just overthink things. But when you do turn to someone and actually say, this is how I'm feeling, it's nice to have that reciprocation of saying, okay, tell me about it. Instead of the whole, just give me a shout whenever you want to have a chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said it yourself the other week, we tend to do the, you're okay, yeah?
yeah.
Rather than a, are you okay? You're answering the question
You're answering
for
the
them
question
and you
for
say,
them.
you're all right, we'll move on. And that's, you're just never going to get a conversation
Yeah.
right, are you?
And it's also like when someone says, you're doing good, are you? Yeah, you're doing good.
How
Great.
the fuck do you know?
It's just like,
no, I'm not.
don't fucking say that. Yeah. How are you?
Yeah.
We say to each other all the time, how you doing?
Yeah.
And it ends there. There's no, are you good? You know?
Yeah. Or my favourite, you're looking well. No, I'm not.
Do you fucking know? Do you know?
Let me tell you something. Yeah.
Or it's when you actually feel good and someone says, you look like shit. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said to you, I walked into work week before last and I'd slept. And my mate I worked with, like, mate, he said, you got eyes like piss holes in the snow. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired, mate. Thanks for pointing out. She's just kicked me in the bollocks when I'm down here.
Although a couple of weeks on a Sunday, you look like shit. Because you were
Yeah.
vexed.
Yeah.
You had a resting bitch face on all day.
Yeah. I don't do it very often, but
No,
when
you
it comes
don't.
out, it's a bad one.
That's what's more noticeable.
Yeah.
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 It was good though.
Yeah.
That was a good day. We're talking about a rugby day that we went to. It was a great day actually. Pissed it down all day, but it was nice.
Not all day. Second half.
Well, it's long for me. I never get out of the house. But no, that's been quite an insightful episode. I almost lost my words there for a second.
It's not like you.
I know.
You normally got loads.
I'm knackered.
No, mate, I appreciate you coming in. And
Anytime.
I just like the fact that there are other people out there trying to do the same thing, trying
Yeah.
to encourage the conversation, because the more we push it, the more we encourage that you can have a conversation and a different avenue for somebody to come around that chat with, the more the better.
Well, that's what, like, I was talking to a friend and they're like, oh, well, there's already this out. And I was like, yeah, but the point is what to find that makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
It might be bears, it might be
Yeah.
whatever. But it's that comfortable conversation where you go, oh, what bear are you carrying? And then it's just, it rolls on. Where are you okay? People, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. And it's like you say, it's like having different types of therapy. Until you've tried it, you don't know if it's going to work. And what works for one person doesn't work for somebody else. But unless you've tried it all, you can't say I've tried it. So the more different ways of doing things, the better.
And I think that's also why a lot of people give up, because they try something once and think that's what
it didn't
therapy
work for
is.
me. Yeah, chip.
It's not just it's not a one avenue thing. You've got to try loads of shit, man.
Yeah.
I had therapy a few years ago. I did the CBT thing. I'm talking, this is 10 years ago maybe. Because I thought I was feeling really low and I thought I'm going to do something about it. I was quite proud of myself to actually do it. And then I went to the GP and they signed me with IAPT and I went for my first session and they gave me this form to fill out and I thought, fuck this, I'm out of here. That was me done.
Yeah, I've done my bit.
Yeah, I don't want homework, and because they're telling me to go home and write things down, I was like, I don't want to do that. But then you realise the older you get, that actually writing shit down is actually really good, just not on a form.
Yeah.
And I think that's what scares people away. But it is a process,
Yeah.
and certain things work. Stuart came in and he said CBT worked for him. So that was a good example of something that didn't work for me, worked for somebody else.
Yeah.
So you don't give up at your first hurdle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do because it can be scary, but it's all for the right reasons.
And like you said, the forms are great, but they rely on you being honest to fill them in. Because
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
fill them in honestly, what's the point of doing it in the first place? Because
And like I said to the doctor, the second time was, I teach this, so I knew what the answers should or shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, kind of could tell. That's why I asked you back a week later. To let you ponder on it and go, do you know what, this ain't working, lying ain't the answer.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm a manager, and I thought, if I'm not there to fill the gaps, who is?
Mm.
But as I've found, been off nearly a week now, they've filled the gaps.
Yeah.
There'll always be somebody.
Just the number that, yeah.
And it wasn't the best way to put it, but one of my managers went, Matt, the simple way to say this to you, you're just a number.
Yeah.
We either replace you for getting your head sorted, or sadly, if it gets too bad, we replace you because you're in a box.
Yeah.
And I don't want the second.
Yeah.
And that hit home, and I was like, okay, I'll talk. And I went to the doctors. I don't ever feel like that, and I got very annoyed that people were
The
saying
assumption
that
was
because in my job I work with arms and ammunition. It was simple. Yeah, we've got to take you away from this, and that hurt me because it's like, that's my job. You're taking my job away.
Yeah.
What am I going to do now?
And those thoughts had ever naturally come into my head.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's. But then when he went, but if this was one of your troops,
what would you do?
and I was like, exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just safeguarding.
Yeah.
Not saying you would, but
Yeah.
we as the organisation has to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You're one of the only people who has that access at all times, so don't take it personally. It's just,
Yeah.
and I get now looking back at it when I had some time to relax and reflect. I'm gone, I would have done exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's just that, and that's the recovery process. It's like working out.
Yeah. Allow the dust to settle.
Yeah,
And then,
you look at it a little bit clearer once it's settled, and you go, oh, I've been a bit of a dick there, wasn't I? Not going away. I could have been already 2 weeks into this process.
Yeah.
But at the time, you think you're strong enough. You put on a brave face.
Yeah.
Look, I'm one of them guys that they say always smiling, and was one of the key aspects that made me go, no, this ain't right, because everyone was, Matt, you okay? You look miserable. You're always smiling. Yeah. And you look, or the 3,000 mile stare, you're just looking straight through everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, and it's like when Stu's in the other week, it's good that you've had people that have identified that and pointed it out to you, because some people just, just having a shit day, just leave them alone. Stu was the same when he said he was at the centre of the jokes and all the banter. And one day somebody said, you're not right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
He didn't even realise,
No.
did he? No.
But that comes back to having the right people around you that will tell you to the face, be as blunt as a breeze block, and just say something's wrong.
I'm lucky the military's good at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they see a problem, they try and fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be pretty shit if they didn't really.
Yeah.
We'll just have a couple of weeks to think about it. No.
Yeah, so
I think a lot of corporations they sometimes don't want to open a can of worms either, do they?
Yeah.
Because I think if I approach that person who may look a bit down, I don't want to open a can of worms and then have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because that might just push them over the edge a little bit, and then they'll be off sick. And I need that person in work, so they're afraid to ask. But the value, I think a lot of people need to value themselves a lot more as well, and we forget to do that. And years of experience of not valuing myself, I now know that if I don't work properly, nothing else can.
Yeah.
And you have to have so much respect in that way, just for yourself to feel, I feel like shit today. I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to have a day off, or I'm just going to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and those things are released. That's when the bears start falling off your back, right? You need those kind of moments, and I think having self-respect and all those kind of things is a way forward to actually getting better in anything, really.
yeah, I think it's just one step at a time.
It is.
And that's why I use the bears, because you kind of, once you name that bear, you can then work out what that bear's problem is, and we can ship it off, put it into hibernation, or send it away.
Put it down. Yeah.
No, let's not kill the bears. I like bears.
Yeah. Right.
Love spuds.
Love spuds. Now we have a section on the podcast.
Okay.
Love spuds or love plums. So something that's either pissed you off this week or something that's made you feel good.
Okay.
We've just thrown that at you, so I'll give you a second to digest it. Have you got any?
Oh, I've got.
You're going to tell me the house again, aren't you?
Yeah, it's the house.
I'm banning the house. You've had like 3 weeks of.
I have to, because it's a love spud. I gotta talk about this, man. No, it's actually not that bad. All it is that I kind of told you about it today. So I've been painting this house, right? And we spoke about this last week when I started painting.
And the week before.
No, that was when work started. So the work has started. I've literally ripped everything out. It's all been freshly renovated. So I gave the mist coat, which is the first coat you put on so it doesn't peel and all that shit. Then gave it another coat and gave it a second coat, a proper coat. And I went over today and the builder was like, oh, how many coats have you put? I said, no, ample amount. It looks great. And he goes, no, you need to come and have a look. And he shone his torch and you can still see the actual fucking plaster. I spent days on this thing and I need to put another 2 coats on it. So I'm pissed off. That means I have no weekend now and I'm tired. I haven't slept because I'm thinking about this shit all the time. But that's my love spud. That's my love spud. Moan's over. No more talking about the house. It's not going to happen next week.
I'm going to challenge our listeners now to go back for the last 3 episodes, because the last 3 episodes has been your house. And when they come back and say, yeah, you're right, this is something coming your way.
Probably is. You know, it's just been like a topical conversation all the fucking time. So no more house talk after this. Maybe in the corridor.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, mate?
I do have a spud, but I can't talk about it.
Oh, man.
It's one of those. It's a mirage spud.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So I will pass the gauntlet on to...
So
Matt.
I don't really think about any spuds at the moment because I'm kind of relaxing at the moment, time off. So it'll be a plum. Happy that I'm focusing my time in the gym every day.
Yeah.
Doing my power of 3, as I called it, listening to loads of audio books, and then reflecting with the wife at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So at the moment, that's really helping me. I'm feeling a lot happier in myself. So
Good.
I'd say it's a plum.
Good. I like that.
Very good.
It's good.
Very
Yeah.
good. Nice way to sign off.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Padmin. Cinema night tomorrow night. You're not there, are you?
I'm not there.
Yeah, we put a cinema night on. No, Friday night. So yeah, tomorrow night when you listen to this. Tomorrow night,
yes. Yeah.
Friday night, cinema night in Rugby. Walk on Saturday in Rugby. And if you follow us on Facebook, find the link to donate to the half marathon fund that we've got running.
Yes.
We've managed to swap all those that can't run for people that can run. So I shall be stood on the sidelines cheering everybody on rather than running it
You'll be
and
the cheerleader
blowing out
for
my
the day.
arse.
Yeah, well, people are doing it, which is good.
Yes.
Which is really, really good.
Yes.
I also just want to say to anyone that is listening to pass on this podcast to anyone that it could potentially help.
And not just ours.
And not just ours,
We've got Matt in.
We've got Matt's.
Remind us what the podcast is called.
So it's called Mental Bears, the podcast.
It's on Spotify,
I think it's on everything now.
on all the streaming platforms.
Look at
Like
that.
it.
Just like us.
Yeah,
Just
magic.
like us.
Magic. I think that's it. We've still yet to give out a challenge coin because nobody's brought a new friend along.
That's true.
So if you're listening, the challenge coin offer is still on. If you bring a mate or you come for the first time to one of our events, get yourself some nice merch.
Yes, you do.
There's meanings behind it. Matt with a military background will probably understand what the challenge coins are all about. We've had some made up. So the idea being that we can support people that come along. And it's a bit of a sort of a badge and a bit of recognition. And then once they're happy where they are, they pass it on to the next person and it goes from there. So yes, I've got them in the garage ready to hand out. If anybody turns up,
You need to start
remind
handing them
me.
out. Yeah. And also ambassadors as well.
Yes.
We've got one coming on board.
I've got some kit for you
You do. Thank you very much.
to hand out.
I'll be seeing him probably tomorrow.
Oh shit, I could have brought it with me, couldn't I?
He could have. Okay, don't worry, we can figure it out. But yeah, that's the nice thing as well, because it shows that people they believe in us to want to actually represent such a worthy cause, really. And it's proud to be a part of it. So anyway, yeah, people get listening.
Yeah. Applications, send
yes,
them in.
please. Yes, please.
On that note, mate.
Oh, do you know about this before we do? We sign off in a real weird way.
And,
We get monitored on how many times we drop the C-bomb.
oh, okay.
That's
So we've had to devise a sign-off. And the sign-off is quite simply, see you
next.
Thursday.
You will, hopefully, anyway. I don't know what I was going to say there. But that's it.
Job done.
We're out.